And here we are again at the Armchair Announcers Table podcast. I'm Johnny.
I'm Chuck.
Now, Mike.
This is part 3 of our series of 3. That's right. Top heel turns, or our favorite heel turns over the past forevers. First cast, Mike did his. Let me throw those up here on the screen. Mike, there's yours. Which he had some good ones. I mean, looking at what we've got. I mean, well, you had the choice, man. You got to choose from everything.
You got the prime choice.
You know, you got to be the number one dude. I mean,
luck of the draw there. All right.
Now I got some dogs barking. Bear with me. And Chuck, here's yours. This is your list.
There you go.
Pretty good looking stuff right there too. A couple that
show my age a little bit.
Well, yeah, and you went overseas. You went the old
exactly.
You went all the way to Japan, and it was a good one.
But you also had some in the 2010s, and
that's right, something up there.
You might make everybody understand I'm not that damn old yet. So
yeah, and so now that leaves it to my turn, where I got to find 5 heel turns over the past years that they didn't list because those are the rules. Got to follow the rules. Would I have picked some of yours? Oh yeah. Y'all had some good ones. There's some in there. So mine may not be as overwhelmingly exciting or anything as yours, because they're probably not as groundbreaking or storyline changing, because you guys got the good ones. But the ones I've got stories with them. I'm going to try to convince you that some of these are pretty exciting.
Yeah,
Mike, get your pen, because you're going to have to write this down, because you're young, you're a little young pup. So
I'm ready.
But you know what? Here, I'm number 5. I'm going to start with one that that a lot of folks would probably have a little higher on their list, and you guys didn't mention it, and it kind of shocked me that you didn't mention this one. But Mike's going to remember this one, and so for that fact, to help Mike, I'm going to start with number 5. Andre the Giant turns on Hulk Hogan. 1987, to build up to WrestleMania, what, 3? Was it 3?
Yeah.
I think it was 3, whatever it was.
I think so.
Andre going heel.
I know, but
I had to, it was in my list.
It would have made it better if it was 10 years earlier.
Yeah,
Andre was hard to watch then. He couldn't move. He couldn't walk.
Yeah,
and I was always an Andre fan, but it was still good.
Yeah,
because it was Andre,
right?
And I didn't like Hogan, so that was good.
Well, yeah, that was it for me. I wanted Hogan to whoop. I wanted Andre to whoop his ass. I mean, I like Hogan. I wasn't a Hogan guy. I didn't take my vitamins. I didn't, care.
Yeah. And he had Heenan.
Heenan.
So,
and what made it interesting to me was the fact that I wanted to see how it was going to end, and I wanted to see how Andre was going to whoop Heenan's ass, because every time somebody left Heenan, they got to whoop Heenan's ass.
Yeah.
That
was the thing. Yeah.
Bobby's just so good. But I had to put it on. It was in here, and since you guys took 10 of the best ones, I had to throw it on the list because it was in my list.
Yeah.
And I know Mike remembers that one.
Yeah, it was one I considered too.
Yeah. Okay. It's one of those that's going to be on everybody's list. I just didn't do it just because it wasn't very long, and it was, I think it was just something else to, give Hogan
it was there to create a WrestleMania main event.
Right.
That's what it was for. Right. Andre was running out of time. Vince wanted to make a little bit more money from him, and it was it sold out the
it did.
It sold out the Silverdome, and I loved the little rings that they built just so
they rode in on. Yeah.
Loved that shit.
Yeah.
Loved that shit. That was
awesome.
Golly, that was
good stuff.
Yeah, that sticks with you.
I'm gonna go number 4. Okay, I'm gonna go with Eddie Guerrero turns on Rey Mysterio.
Hey, I like that.
That was a good one.
2005. I think, my opinion, I think Eddie was one of the best heels ever. When he finally got to be super heel Eddie Guerrero, I thought what he brought to the table when he started that gimmick of, hitting a chair on the ring and throwing it in somebody else's hand lane.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I'm not anybody who watches I'm not a big,
absolutely.
I'm not big on the comedy part of a lot of the stuff when it becomes too much.
Right.
Danhausen.
Sit down.
But when he would do that, it was great.
It was great stuff.
It was great storytelling.
And he was God, he was so good in the ring.
Yes.
And
And he
and
paved the way for Dom.
and
Yes.
to turn
And
on Rey Mysterio, my man.
Oh yeah.
that
That was
yeah.
you just didn't do that back then.
No,
You know.
no, it was gonna probably be. I was gonna fight to put that in my top 5, even with
Mhm.
the ones you guys put, which were great. If you didn't see those yet, go back to the previous 2 podcasts, look at Mike's 5 and Chuck's 5, and know that I couldn't use their
Mhm.
5. So,
Oh, but
this still might have made my top
yeah.
5
Well,
because of the
Yeah.
impact it
l
had on me.
I was gonna say, look at the impact it had to this
Yeah,
day on the
yeah.
Dom and Ray story.
Yeah,
It
Yes.
still gets brought up about
Still
Eddie being
carrying.
his dad.
Yes.
it
It
still
still
gets
gets
brought up,
brought up
and it brought
because of
us
that.
And
it was
it
Yeah.
was
it
perfect timing for that
Yes.
era of
yeah,
wrestling.
yeah,
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know,
The
he
story was
was
good.
always
Yeah.
he was always on the edge. He was an
yeah.
Yes.
edgy guy and
It was
just
great.
And
yeah.
he was just he they were the story goes they were buddies forever. They were been wrestling each other since they were this tall. They were friends. They came up through all these. They all wore masks over in him and Benoit and Ray
Mhm.
and Chavo and Dean Malenko. They were them. They were the what they call them. When they came over when they
Oh,
all
the Radicals.
the
Those
radicals,
Radicals.
and
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
of course they were all this big around, and they must have worked out a lot. I don't
Yeah,
know,
exactly. Yeah.
and but God, it was just so good. It was
Yeah.
that particular
Yeah.
storyline was really good for
Well,
me.
and
Uh,
Guerrero was always so good in the ring. He
yeah,
wasn't just a luchador. He reminded me a lot of Ricky Steamboat of
yeah,
fluid and just
Yeah.
always put on a good match, no matter
mhm,
what.
yeah.
And he
So
was
I
great
watched.
on the mic too. He
yes.
Well,
had
and
awesome mic
he
skills.
knew how to get the
Yeah.
crowd.
Mm-hmm.
He knew how to get the crowd. He had.
Yeah.
I watched one of JBL's podcasts. He was talking to. I can't remember who he was talking to. They were talking about Eddie, and he said there was this one time that they went on in a match at a pay per view. It was right after a banger, right after a great match, and the crowd was just all up, and they were just going nuts, going crazy. And they said, "Oh shit, we got to go out there now. We got to go out there. We got to win this crowd. And this crowd's already going crazy. We're gonna get out there. They're gonna have that big drop in the crowd after you have a great big match." And so, did we lose you, Chuck?
No, I'm there.
Okay. Um, and
I'm enthralled with your
well,
speech.
he said they got out there and they started wrestling, and the crowd was just kind of dead because they just came off this fucking high from this last match that they just
Yeah.
had. They were just going nuts. And Eddie grabbed him and or JBL grabbed him, put him in a headlock and threw him down on the ground. And Eddie said, "Lay here." And JBL said, "What?" He said, "Just hold the headlock." And they just sat there. And he said, and the crowd was just kind of whatever. And Eddie said, he said, "All right, I'm gonna go." He said, "No, stay here." And he made him stay on the ground. He just made him stay on the ground. I thought we were going to lose him. He said, then Eddie did something and the crowd started to bubble a little bit. And he said, "All right, get me back on the ground." He put him back on the ground. He held him. And he built that crowd back up to where they forgot about that match before.
Watching
He
what
said,
was going on.
yeah, he said they
Yeah.
went out there and they blew the doors off again.
Yeah.
The guy knew how to read a crowd,
Yeah. He was
and
good.
he was great at it. He was just great at it. So
And you do not like Ray.
not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
And you know
Right.
what? And I know we're off topic just for one quick second. The reason we don't like Ray is because of Vince McMahon putting him into
The heavyweight
he
division.
beating Kevin Nash, beating Big Show, beating. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
stop it.
Coming in at number 2 in the Royal Rumble and throwing out people and going all
Yeah.
the way.
Stop
No.
it.
Stop it. Number 3. Let's move on to number 3. I'm going to go back to 1985.
All right.
Get online and find it. Mid-South Wrestling. Butch Reed
Oh,
turns on Buddy Landell and Skandar Akbar. The reason I take this one, Butch Reed was one of the greatest heels
it
ever.
was great.
And Buddy Landell at the time was being built as the next Ric Flair. He was coming
Yes.
up in all the territories. They loved him. He was a good talker. He was a decent wrestler. He was getting better, but he was a real good asshole. He was really good
Mhm.
at it. And there was just enough. Butch Reed had run the gambit. You know, he'd wrestled the Dog, he'd wrestled Duggan, he'd wrestled
Ernie
Terry Taylor,
Ladd.
he'd wrestled
Yeah.
everybody. There was nothing left for Butch Reed to do. So they turn him. And that segment on Mid-South Wrestling at that time was just great. Akbar was Akbar. If you don't know, those folks watching, go back and watch the old Mid South clips. Skandar Akbar is one of the best, one of the original bad you gotta hate managers. He's one that
Yes.
would throw flame in somebody's eyes. He would hit them with his cane. He was the Arab guy that everybody hated.
Right.
So
Rich guy, rich oil guy.
it
Yeah.
was it was it was memorable for me at the time because that's in '85 I was, of course, I've been watching wrestling since the early '70s, but I was still in that awe-inspired time of where I wanted to believe it was real, and
Mhm.
seeing Butch Reed turn into a good guy was just fun for me. It was
Yeah.
fun for me. That's why it
Yeah.
was so memorable.
Yeah, no, I like Butch. Those matches between Butch Reed and Junkyard Dog when Reed was a heel were just great matches.
Yes,
So good.
yes, really good
I liked
stuff.
him part of Doom.
Right.
Well, and he
Yeah.
was still good.
Right.
Yeah.
He was still
I
good at
forget.
that time. The guy was a
That's
great athlete.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
if we
He
do
was
it,
a great athlete.
if we do a show on top 5 useless gimmicks, Doom's one of them. By the way,
Yeah,
everybody knew who those two were.
yeah, the top 5 masked men who we say, "Why? Why'd you get a
Why
mask?" I
exactly?
mean, come on.
Come on now.
But
Like Giant Machine. Yes.
yeah, well, or Midnight Rider,
Yeah.
or the James Brothers, or you can go
Or
down
Stagger
the list,
Lee.
but
We can go on
Stagger
and on about those.
yeah, yeah. So oh my goodness. Now
Uh,
you guys have really got me working hard here. I gotta get 2 more out of this mess. I got a lot of them here to be great honorable mentions, I'll tell
Yeah.
you that, but, I'm gonna go back to the territories again for my number 2 pick, and this one, Mike, you're gonna maybe know some of the names. This is
Okay.
1986,
All right.
and you have to remember back in the territory days, we didn't know anything. Like we said on the last cast that we talked about, the Freebirds were good guys in Georgia, but people hated them in Texas. So you didn't know who was a heel and who was a face, depending on what part of the country you're in. I'm going to Memphis in 1986. Memphis had a huge wrestling situation, and for the first time ever that I remember, we had a wrestler hide under the ring all night long, waiting for the final match. It was a cage match,
Yeah.
and Jerry Lawler, who was the king of wrestling in Memphis, he was the guy. He was the superstar. Nobody disrespected Jerry Lawler. Well, he was in this bout with Austin Idol, who was a great heel. Look him up.
That was great.
He's
He was
great.
great.
And Idol had a feud with Tommy Rich for years, back and forth. Tommy Rich was a good guy. He was loved in Georgia, one of the greatest faces in Georgia ever. And he went to Memphis and he was a tag teaming with Eddie Gilbert, and Gilbert turned on Tommy Rich and all that kind of mess. But anyway, nobody expected it. Nobody saw it. Nobody knew it was
Mhm.
coming. Idol was wrestling Lawler for the title inside a steel cage. Tommy Rich had been hiding under the ring all night long. Toward the end of that match, he comes out from under the ring and they just beat the ever loving shit out of Jerry Lawler. And that place went
Oh,
absolutely bonkers bananas.
yeah.
This is in Memphis.
In Memphis.
You had fans
Law-
trying to get in the
Lawler
cage.
and Memphis, yeah.
Oh,
Lawler
yeah.
and Memphis was like the Von Erichs in Dallas. You just didn't
Yeah.
mess with
It
them.
was you need to watch it. Just
Uh,
Idol and Rich turn on Jerry Lawler, 1986.
I forgot
It-
about that. That's a good one.
It was one of those things that made me. I read it in one of the magazines
Mm-hmm.
because I kind of knew that by reading magazines that certain wrestlers were liked and hated in different locations, but I never thought anybody could ever hate Tommy Rich.
Yeah.
Ever.
No, not after
Because-
watching. We
because
had
Tommy-
TBS.
He
Yeah.
was the Superman. He was the golden boy. He was the guy. You can't
Mhm.
hate Tommy Rich. He's beating all these bad guys,
Mhm.
But I'll be damned. I saw it in there and I said, no way. And it made me want to go buy the next month's magazine to see what Tommy Rich did.
What
Now
was
that,
going on?
him and Austin Heidler together. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But it was one of the greatest heel turns I can remember back in my day when I was a believer.
Yeah.
It was just awesome for me. It
Yeah,
was just awesome.
that was a good one. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
That one that always sticks with me
Yeah.
because of who Tommy Rich was. I wasn't a
Yeah.
huge Tommy Rich fan, but
No, but
But golly,
Yeah.
I
You
mean, the
couldn't-
stuff that he did with DiBiase in Georgia, you remember that stuff. He was, DiBiase, you had to hate DiBiase and you had to love Tommy
Mhm.
Rich.
Right. Well, the matches with him and Buzz Sawyer are legendary.
Mm-hmm. And it's
But,
just
and yeah.
amazing. Amazing.
All right. Who you got?
Well, since you forced my hand, since you took all the good ones, I'm looking at my list, which is over here off camera. As you see my eyes wandering, I got about 10 to choose from, and I'm going to go my number one, 1996. So
Okay.
Mike can understand.
I was going to say you're in Mike's era.
Yeah. Are you in WCW or are you in WWE?
WWE. I think it was F at the time.
F.
Wasn't it? Anyway, I got Paul
WWF.
Bearer and Mankind turning on the Undertaker.
Oh man, yeah.
That was when. That's what made the Taker end up being back and forth guy.
Yeah.
He could be a good guy now. It was just something that blew me away that they would let you because of the character they had built.
Right.
The
Yeah.
character they had built, and they couldn't find any way to make him. This is before Kane came in. Wasn't this before Kane? Yeah, because Kane came out. Yeah, Kane. He brought Kane to help Mankind go after the Undertaker. So,
Correct.
they had to figure out some way to give Undertaker somebody. And so, whenever they got Foley, and to see Paul Bearer turn against the Undertaker was just a whoa.
Yeah.
It was just a wow moment.
Didn't see that coming.
Not at all.
No, that's one I didn't see that one coming. And again, with the 10 that you see here that you guys took, and you start running out of ammunition. But that was another one that I thought was just really a banger, one that just kind of blew me away a little
Well, and
bit.
again, it changed it redirected a whole story of
it created
from there.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the storylines that it built.
Everything that busted out of that.
Yeah. And then then you even allowed Mick Foley to turn on Bearer later whenever Bearer was with Kane, and Kane and Mankind, then Mankind, then Taker joined Kane, then Kane. It was a great little thing they had going. Then you had the Ministry of Darkness that screwed it all up, but we won't talk about that right now. But it was one of those I think that needs to be mentioned in our list. I just think it needs to be mentioned.
No, definitely. That's a good one. So that was a good one.
I like that.
So there's my 5 on top of your 5 on top of your 5. Oh, I got a few honorable mentions.
Yeah, give us a couple honorable mentions.
If y'all want to throw some out there just to kind of chit chat about. I threw in Mid-South 1987 when Terry Taylor turned on Chris Adams.
The Red Rooster?
No, it was before the Red Rooster. Before he became a rooster.
I thought about that one, but man, I was never ever a Terry Taylor fan.
I wasn't either
at all.
But I put Terry Taylor in the Tommy Rich category. He's the consummate good guy.
Yeah.
And when he turned bad and he went against Chris Adams, I mean, okay,
that's true.
Cool. It was a good story. It's a good storyline. That's why it wasn't in my list.
It
was a good storyline. I got another one here, a little closer to. Of course, you can go back to 1980 and go Zbyszko when he turned on San Martino. And I went all the way back to 1977 just for a little something for you, Mike. 1977.
Thank you.
When Ernie Ladd turned on Dusty Rhodes. That was in a tag match, by the way. He and Dusty Rhodes were in the Omni, I believe it was, I think it's the Omni, and they were tag teaming and whatever. And of course, they showed video of it on Mid-South. And what had happened? One of the wrestlers on the other team had come by and pulled Dusty Rhodes off the apron and rammed his head into the post, and he was all busted up. Dusty hardly ever bleeds. He was bleeding everywhere.
Yeah.
And Ernie Ladd was just getting his ass whipped in the ring. And so it was one of those deals where he kept trying to tag Dusty, never could find him. He was never there to help him. So Dusty pulls himself up to the top. He's laying on the ropes trying to tag, even though he's lost all this blood. And and Ladd finally gets those guys off of him. He walks over there and he stares at Dusty. He slaps his hand real hard. And then he picks him up and he body slams him into the ring. And then they beat the shit out of Dusty. And Ladd walks away. So that was another memorable moment in my younger
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see, I'll just throw a couple more out
Another
there.
one that I had that I almost brought up was the corporate rock.
Yeah.
Whenever the
That's what I was going to say. Rock joining the corporation. I didn't see that one. I didn't see that coming.
no,
not
No.
not after the character they had built him up to be. Yeah, I did not see
Yes.
that one.
Yes, but
Yeah.
that was
Did
some
not
of
see
his.
that one coming.
I think that was some of his best work.
that was a
Yes.
great storyline.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was
awesome.
that's where he created. I think that's where he generated the Rock character the most.
Yeah.
You know, and then where he carried it from there. I got Dusty Rhodes joining the NWO.
Yeah.
Something a little closer to time. I had I had to put one women's situation on here. 2019 when Bailey and Sasha turned on Becky at Mania.
Well, that one was, and it changed some stuff. I mean, you can't deny that.
Oh yeah. And the last one I'll say before I get out of here was when 2025. I think it still needs to be in somebody's top 20 at least. When Heyman double turned on Rollins and double turned on Roman and Punk. I just seeing Heyman when Heyman does something, Heyman's got to be in every list.
I have to say the only reason that's good is because it was Heyman the way he pulled it off.
That's right.
Heyman
That was
turns on
it.
everybody.
You know, it's definitely worth an honorable
Exactly.
mention, just because it's Paul Heyman. But
Yeah.
I tried hard to pull from some old ECW days, but they didn't do a whole lot of heel turns.
No, they were all nuts.
They were all heels. They didn't have any good guys.
Yeah, it's just a lot of excitement.
Well, and another one I thought about, but it ended up not making any of my list was the WrestleMania 13 with Bret Hart and Steve Austin, where Austin went in as the heel,
the
and Hart
double
was the
turn.
good guy, and the double turn. I mean, that was
that
unique.
Yeah, I thought about that one.
That was
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah.
But that one, I had that one listed just as a standby. But I think we did good, guys. I think we did really good.
I think so. I think that was a good list. That was a good start. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it. And
we covered a lot of year. I went back to 1977, and y'all went on. We went all the way up to 2025. I think that's pretty good carriage.
And Mike, I gotta give Mike props. I really thought we were gonna get a Dirty Dom turn on Ray. I really thought that was gonna be on his list somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good turn, but we all knew that was gonna happen.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, and nobody mentioned the Edge getting turned on by the Judgment Day. I'm thanking you for that. Thank you very much, and thank God none of you said Cena turning on Cody.
Yeah, no.
I tell you what, I think that's one of the worst heel changes.
That's one of the worst ones.
And
poorly done, bad idea.
Yeah,
you know, everybody kind of saw it coming.
Bad idea, bad move, bad follow through. It just
the follow through was even worse.
It's horrible.
Well, you know, when the fans give up on you as quickly as they did, it was just, it was brutal. But
nobody bought it.
I will thank you for that.
And I think we're going through the same shit with Randy Orton right now too. Like
I think so.
Another one that's
he's in his last run, and they've learned over the years you don't make the last run a heel. You just don't. But
it's tough.
But we'll continue that conversation in our weekly.
That'll be another list.
Our weekly arguments that we have whenever we start looking back at.
You know what? If we can get some comments, throw some ideas for lists. We'll throw some together. If something you want to hear.
Absolutely.
Send us some lists. Let us know what we can go through, and we'll hunt and peck, and we'll do the same thing we did. We'll each take 5, and this second person and third person can't use the first and second's list, and we'll get you 15 different ones every single time. We won't match up at each other and get Brutus out of the
Brutus.
Your top 5 Brutus matches.
Did he have 5 matches?
5? Really?
Now we could do his bottom 5 Brutus matches.
Oh man.
I'm not real sure I could find 5.
Somebody else you want some entertainment, go do a deep dive into his world right now.
Yeah, I saw that too. That's pretty bad.
Probably
it's
not good.
Right
up there with Janetti.
Well, guys, it was fun.
Right. Yes, it was. I enjoyed it.
We got 15 thrown down out there. We'll get, like I say, if this is the first one you watch, go back and watch the others. This is a set of 3 that you can go back and watch, and you can catch us every week getting caught up on what we do in the world of wrestling and enjoying it like we do. And We're going to be keep coming in at least once a week with the updates and see where we're going on the road to WrestleMania. And we will be back in a couple of days with the weekly update from Raw and SmackDown. And so, guys, y'all got anything else?
I do not.
No,
Been
good to
good. Go like,
All right,
subscribe,
fellas.
comment,
Yeah.
spread the word.
Do all that stuff that Chuck just said to do.
Yep.
More people we get, the funner we can have. So, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you next time.
Yes.
See ya.
Peace.
Yeah.